Yo.
What's up with it? What's up with it?
What's up, my people?
What's going on, man? You know, making it happen. Trying to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. What's good?
This guy. We back another week. Fire Session Podcast. I'm Big
Yes,
Ken.
sir.
That's Wine is a Bottle Poetry, aka Benji Banks, the man, the brand.
What's happening with it?
Y'all already know he gonna start out clowning off top. This guy changes his name. I mean, I can't even call it, y'all. Y'all already know how we do every week. We have fun. We have great topics. We have great guests this week. Nothing different. We got an amazing guest joining us. But before we get into the guest and before we bring him on, Benji, what's going on, man? It's Tuesday. How's your week started off?
Week has been dope so far. You know what I'm saying? It's early in the week, so ain't no super extra drama going on. But when you see things coming together like butt cheeks, that's when you know. That's when you can feel excited and feel happy. You know what I'm saying? So just making things happen, man. Inching closer and closer and closer to those goals, to those dreams, to those visions, and just making it happen. And we here, and it's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Taco Tuesday. We should, you know what I'm saying? Have some tacos in your hand, some wine, you know what I'm saying? Margarita, whatever your preference is. But, you know what I'm saying? You can't be mad on Taco Tuesday. I don't care if your girl or your boyfriend made you mad. Go get some tacos. It'll cheer you up. You'll be all right.
Hey, well, if you in Dallas, Texas, you better be getting some groceries.
It's snowstorm that way, right? Dallas,
yeah, y'all already know Dallas is not equipped to handle snowstorms and things of that nature. So right. Yes, you will be in the house for a couple of days. And in a stark change of events, DISD announced today that they will be closed on Thursday and Friday.
The school's frozen? Is that because of the snowstorm or whatever?
That's because the snowstorm has been forecasted, and in the past, you know, DISD waits to the very last minute to announce anything.
I mean, they need them coins, man. They need them chips. They need them coins.
I think maybe the pandemic has softened them up a little bit because when we was kids, y'all already know it had to really snow for us to miss kids. I mean, for us to miss days in DISD because we was going.
Yeah, Mama and them wasn't letting us stay home.
Hey, Mama had to go to work. You had to go to school.
Yes, she
did.
You
have to go to school. We ain't have no babysitter because God watches us, and you just gonna stay at home.
God watched us.
Yeah, God watches us because you gonna stay at home. Don't open that door. Don't cook nothing. Eat them cornflakes and get you a snack and have a seat.
And that's it. And don't go in my room.
Yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. Mama, if you're watching, my apologies, but I used to break that rule all the time, bro. Every time my parents leave the house, I'm going in their room for something. Fact.
I mean, we was kids, man. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? You know, we didn't listen to our parents all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, we had to, you know, especially if we was at home, you know, we get bored. You know what I'm saying? We get bored quick. You know what I'm saying?
Mama say don't go outside, all outside. Got the indo smelling like outdoor. When she comes and don't even realize it, you like, I ain't been outside. Why it smell like outside in here? I'm like,
right?
Oh no! I had opened the door to take the trash out. That's probably what that is.
See, those are tricks of the trade we didn't know as a kid, that because we wasn't going in the house to take no bath or no shower. We just came from outside, right in the inside, smelling like outside, and we would give ourselves away. So, you know, Mama, I always got the whooping, so I just knew it. I just got to the point to where I was like, look, I'm going to do me. I already know I'm going to get this whooping. So I might as well just go on and party like it's 1999. So, I mean.
Yeah, we kind of had the same attitude. And again, as y'all already know, me and Benji grew up together. So we got into a lot together.
Right.
So, yeah. So we was probably getting into a lot of stuff and going home and probably getting in trouble in different households and didn't know it.
Yeah. Trouble was like the middle name. This is what we did. So it was mandatory. What else we gonna do? I mean, but look at us today. Now they admire us. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? We go from in trouble to on top of the bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
making
Yes,
stuff
sir.
up as we go along, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, and they love us. They don't want to admit it. They love us. You know
Hey
what I'm
man.
saying?
Hey, but you know what? You know what's also crazy, man? We were talking a little bit about the show, and we ain't gonna go into detail because we got a show topic coming up in the next few weeks about dating.
Right.
Women, why y'all out there want to be a wife, but y'all don't have the all the things to be a wife? Some of y'all don't cook, don't clean. Like, what
Ooh,
is going on with these
Lord,
girls?
Lord, ooh, you about to open your inbox gonna be
Well, hold on.
full in a second.
Okay, well, let's not even go there then. But y'all
Yeah,
just know.
I mean,
And
give them a snippet because we got to give them some intrigue. We got to give them a little bit. Give them a snippet because we discussed this. We didn't discuss it at length, but give them a snippet because they need to hear this. They
I'm
need to
just
hear
gonna tell you, you gotta tune in. Stay tuned to the page. Stay tuned to the show. We're gonna be making announcements about the topics we're gonna be talking about each week, and you need to be in the know so you can tune in. So you can tell us if we're right or if we're wrong.
right,
Because most of the time we're gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? Because we do our Googles and we do our research. You know what I'm saying? We got some great resources. But
right. We
also gonna have some ladies on here to speak their piece. So let
yeah,
us know
yeah.
where we're going wrong at, because that's what y'all do. Y'all definitely can tell a guy where he going wrong at for sure.
Uh, Lord have mercy. We could write a whole dissertation on that, Pimpin.
Facts.
I
All
think
right.
the book was right. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I think that was right. I think, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, hey, we all on Earth now, so we got to make it work. So you know what I'm
Right,
saying. But let's jump into the interview today. We got a great guest. We try to bring you people that can help you on your day-to-day trek in life. Y'all already know we grown. We some of us be out here just spending money, doing wild stuff, and being
uh-huh.
irresponsible as adults, and don't understand the ramifications of taking care of your finances.
Oh,
And
finances.
so also, what y'all doing with y'all taxes? Because I'm gonna tell you like this: no offense to nobody out there, but you got people out there who didn't pass math in high school doing your taxes. That's not gonna work. You need
No.
expert help. Don't
You're
let
trying to get you're trying to get that extra bag back and you're gonna get some extra cuffs. Be careful.
yeah,
Be careful.
you gonna get a bag, all right. You
You're
gonna
gonna
get
get
a
a
yeah.
bag with some apple and some cold food in it. You know what I'm talking about? Be careful, Pippin. Be
You gonna
careful.
get
Be careful.
bagged.
Be careful.
Yeah, you gonna get bagged because you
Right?
got to do things by the book. So we brought somebody in today who's gonna give you some information on financial information, some tax
Yes.
information. Some of y'all got that child care tax credit, and you want to know about that. We're gonna ask them about that too.
Right?
So somebody amazing that we're gonna bring on the show, and he gonna give y'all some great information and tell y'all about himself. I got my guy Alfred Record coming on, and he is the owner of LifeTax and Financial Services.
Yes.
For record people,
Let's do it.
What's going on, Kent?
what's up? What's up, Al? What's the deal?
What's
What's
up,
going
man?
on? What's going on?
Glad to be on, man.
Hey man, we glad you could join us. I kind of talked to him about this last season, and you know what I'm saying, we brought it up. We tried to work the schedule so we were able to get something scheduled in, and it's perfect timing because tax season is upon us.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure a lot of these
Cover the
people
tax.
are running around trying to figure out what's the difference now, because over the past couple of years, especially during the pandemic, there's been some changes.
Right?
So, it's probably some people unsure of kind of what they need to do, but, we're going to get to that. But first of all, we want to let the people know about you, Alfred. So kind of get the people like your background, where you went to school at, what your field of study was, and how you got to where you are today.
All right. Well, so crazy enough, we're gonna get all into it, Ken. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's go.
You said
Go.
we're gonna have fun, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk business and we're gonna laugh a little bit for
A little
sure.
bit.
That's
Okay.
mandatory.
So I went to Science and Engineering High School
Okay.
in Dallas, Texas, Townview Magnet Center, where I got to have some good times with Big Ken.
Was he a Cowboy fan that then too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he
I
was.
just want to be sure.
Tried and true. And so, we thought we was going to be some engineers and some scientists and all these things. And, we was computer geeks and these things. But, we used to have fun back in high school and walking the halls of Townview Magnet Center and, getting it in, but also getting in our work in our cities at the same time, So we were like, the ones that are getting a little bit of trouble, but still knew how to get our work done too.
We were the cool nerds.
There you go. Okay. We were the cool nerds, and we had a little swag about us, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit. But mine didn't come to later on after I went to college, and then I came back to Dallas. That's when mine really came in, So
I was just a nerd. I wasn't. I didn't have no swag back then. Like I was a mess though.
No, man, you had swag before swag was a word. That's what I believe. That's what I think. So so that's where I got, we got started. That's why I met Ken. And that's how I'm on this podcast today, because you and I have known each other since 9th grade. And so, first of all, thank you for having me on the podcast, not the podcast, but the interview on tonight. And just, definitely all about sharing information and trying to help others, especially in my world, which is finance. So, so fast forward, came back to Dallas, worked for a transportation company for about 8 years. My father actually owned a transportation company. And so I came back to Dallas, the truth be told, was because I couldn't get my stuff right in Atlanta. It was right around 9/11. And, the job market was really crazy. It was upside down.
Now, what year was this? What year was this again?
This was in 2002 when I graduated college, and then moved back to Dallas in 2004.
Okay.
9/11 was right at 2001. So, the job market was still upside down. I had a really hard time, trying to get my footing there good. So I was like, okay, let me go back to Dallas. Let me go back home, get my footing set. Let me get back up on my feet, and then move back to Atlanta was my plan. But God had other plans for me. So I'm still here.
Right. Now I know we're going to get into the tax thing, but how was Atlanta around that time in terms of just culture, whatever? Was it still as enjoyable as it is now compared to back then, or was it a little bit more popping back then, or how was it? How did you feel like you fit in around that time?
To me, Atlanta was more popping back then. It wasn't so much of like now it's just Black Hollywood to me. Like it's just so pretentious. So you got to be in the right circles and going to these special little events and dinners, exclusive. Back then, we used to just get it in. Like it was just like if you were of age and you could, you meet a few right people, then you just got to go and hang and have a good time. I have so many fond memories from Atlanta and just, loving the culture. Met people from all over the world, literally, who have moved there. And it was just more down to earth, less pretentious. Nowadays it's not so much. And it's, so much about the real estate, so many, it's just exploded, nowadays in the last, I would say 8 to 10 years.
Right.
So, it's different than what it used to be. But my plan was always to go back.
Okay.
So, like I said, I got here, got my footing here in Dallas, and ended up, like I said, working for my father, working for a transportation company. And it was business, and I learned a lot of good things about business, small business. He had a very successful trucking company back from the 2004 to 2014 era or period of time. And so I learned a lot, I learned a lot about grinding. I learned a lot about entrepreneur life, how, it's not a 9 to 5, like you get there, you just go until the work is done. And in transportation and trucking, if anybody's watching this, that is in that business, it's almost 24/7.
Right.
It doesn't stop.
And always on the go in that lifestyle.
Yeah, always on the go. Trucks are always moving. When we're asleep, the trucks are moving. So then when we wake up, the product is there.
Right.
And if the truck has a breakdown, you're getting a call at 2, 3 in the morning, no matter what time it is, to try to help get that truck back up and rolling again. So that was my life, for a long while. Figured out that it wasn't for me. It wasn't my baby. It wasn't going to be my lifelong thing. So I said, well, what can I do? So at the time, I was passionate about helping high school students get to college, specifically African American boys to get to HBCUs, because that's where I was able to go. And I was fortunate and blessed to be able to go to HBCU. I loved the HBCU experience.
Right. And that's one of the things I hate I missed, because the HBCU experience is something that I literally, as I get older, I'm like, man, I just want to go enroll for the experience. That's one of the things that I didn't get to experience. But kind of talk to us a little bit about that aspect, being in that HBCU. I know Ken went as well. So and I always hear that they're dope. And so now it's trying to come back into focus a little bit more. So kind of give us a little bit on that.
It's not too late though. Before Alfred answers that question, it's not too late, because let me tell you a secret. If you didn't go to a HBCU and you want to know what it's like once this whole pandemic clears and they get back to having homecomings, all you gotta do is go to the right homecoming, and you're gonna get a good taste of what it's like.
All right. Shout out HBCUs. Shout out.
Yeah. So, like what Ken just said, I have at least 3 or 4 of my closest friends that are honorary HBCU graduates, because they came to a few of our homecomings.
That's dope.
It's hard to put into words. What I will say is, if you know, it's like being a part of some worldwide elite but inclusive club of some of the best Black professionals, the best Black entrepreneurs, the best Black philanthropists. It's like everything Black at a whole nother level. And that's the best way that I can try to describe it. And so homecoming is everybody coming back together to catch up over the last 1, 2, 5 years of where life has taken you and where you are now, and just celebrating that. It's about celebrating Black legacy, Black excellence all over the place, and it all comes together at homecoming. So that was a part of the, my homecoming experience, and I try to go back at least every other year if I can. As far as the overall HBCU experience, like I said, it's hard to put into words, but I got to have some of the best and most memorable experiences of my life in that 4 years between 98 and 2002 when I was at Morehouse College.
Again, shout out HBCU, shout out Morehouse College, Paul Quinn. The list goes on and on and on and on. That's dope, man. I wish I had that experience. So you guys are one up me. So, but I ain't mad at neither one.
Yeah. So speaking of that, right? So let me just tell you, this is a little bit of, and I put this out about a week ago about the HBCU experience.
Right.
I am where I am today partly because of that. And
because of the HBCUs.
Yeah. So there's one person that I can pinpoint that I met in college that helped me to meet my now wife.
Oh, and that's dope.
And that introduced me to this whole industry that I'm in right now.
Now that's dope. And you consider that pretty much like networking, so to speak. You know what I mean?
It was networking and life changing for me, because I didn't know that I was going to be here where I am today. I didn't know that I would be doing taxes. I didn't even go to college for accounting.
Wow. Okay.
I went for business. I was a science and engineering high school. Figured out real quick that I wasn't going to be nobody's programmer.
I'm done with that.
Yeah, I figured it out real fast. Freshman year at Morehouse, I was like, okay, let me switch to business and figure out what I can do to try to make my own money. I didn't know what it was. And then in the midst of me being there, came across one of my Morehouse brothers, and he introduced me to that industry. And it was actually not while we were in college. It was after we had finished college, and he had figured some things out, and then he put me on game. And so I was like, okay, cool. Let me figure this out. I was looking for an exit anyway. And I said, okay, I want to help high school students get to college. Like I said, I was passionate about HBCUs. And so I went into the education field. At the same time that I went into the education field, I started doing taxes as a side hustle. So that's how I got my start. I said, let me do what I'm passionate about, and then do something else on the side as a side hustle to make a little bit of extra money to pay for bills, pay for vacations, maybe pay for a car note, whatever.
Right.
And just set that on the side. But I was passionate about helping students get to college. Okay.
That's dope.
So then once I started teaching 7th grade math in DISD, I'm a product of Dallas
Independent School District. Boy, it's a lot we can talk about in DISD.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Shout out Dallas. Shout out Texas. Shout out.
And I, like I said, I went back to teach at a middle school, and off of Keys and Ledbetter.
That's all you had.
Keys and Ledbetter.
Lord have mercy.
There's too many memories you're bringing up right there. Keys and Ledbetter.
Right there in Oak Cliff. That was the school I taught at.
Oh, man.
San Holmes Middle School. Taught these knucklehead 7th graders.
Shout out Oak Cliff. I know we out there. Folks gotta know this now. I mean, they should know this. Most folks. I grew up. That's my home, man. Dallas is home. Oak Cliff and Carter and all of that, man. Yeah, grew up, man, there. So, memories hit when you say those names.
Kimball. I was right down the street from Kimball.
Oh, man. Yeah. Wow. What was the one school? I'm forgetting. Lord, I'm getting old. I can't remember. They used to always whoop us in football too. I remember the name, and I'll bring it up a little later.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up a little later.
And so, like I said, so that was the school, the feeder school. So I started there teaching 7th grade math. And, I wasn't passionate about, again, I did not go to school for education. I wasn't an education major. Mm-hmm. I wasn't an engineering major. I wasn't an accounting major. I was just business. So trying to figure this thing out. Started doing taxes on the side, getting on my client base. So what I did was I took the opportunity that was before me, and I found my client base in the teachers that were down the hall from me.
Oh, okay.
The teachers that were upstairs from me and the teachers that were downstairs. We had a 3-story building. And so one by one, I started getting more clients every year that I kept doing taxes. Okay. And so I started out with about 5 or 6, my first season of doing taxes. Second year turned into about maybe 15 or 20. I'm getting these teachers. And I'm doing good. I'm being helped, but though it's not just me. I got a guy that's helping me to learn how to do these taxes the right way, and just helping me to maximize these refunds so that the word spread. Teachers finding out. Teachers talk, so they were like, "Oh, Ben, Ken, check this out." By my 4th year, I think it was 4th season, I was doing my principal's taxes.
Oh, okay. So now you get to see what the principal makes. I mean, see now that's smart right there, my man. You get to know what you call your dollars. You call it dollar sign. So the principal making so and so.
Yes. I had no idea. So once I started doing the principal tax, I said, okay, there might be something to this. So then one principal led to another. Okay. One business owner led to another, and then next thing you know, I ventured out on my own. I said, "Look, I appreciated where my current mentor had trained me or the one at the time," and I said, "Okay, it's time for me to go out on my own." So I set a goal for myself. I'm just trying to paint the picture here. I said, if I can make $40,000 a year being a teacher, and I can say that because teacher salaries are public information. Right. Back then, I was making right around $42,000 a year making as a teacher. I said, if I can make this as a tax professional in 4 months, then I would leave being a teacher and go fully into 2 feet in, full speed ahead, just doing taxes, and take ownership of my time of just being a tax professional, learn, do what I need to do, and turn that 40 into 60, and turn that 60 into 100, and then 100 into more and more and more. So that's what I said I would do. So I made.
When did you find out you was making more than the principal?
Yeah, right. And I'm still doing her taxes. So I'm just saying, So I set my goal. I met that goal. I evened out my teacher salary with what I was making on a part-time hustle basis. And then from there, I said, hey, I love y'all. I respect y'all. Thank y'all for what y'all doing, but I'm out. So 2015, LifeTax Financial Services was born, and I went out there and I continued to get my clients. I built my team. I started doing life insurance as well on the side. That's why I call it LifeTax.
LifeTax Financial Services
And tax services. Yeah. So that's how I got started. And 10 years later, we're still here.
Still here. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean that's a dope journey, and he said some things that we kind of echo on this show a lot. That's turning your something that you're passionate about into a paycheck, even when it isn't your paycheck at that point, because people get discouraged because they having to work a 9 to 5 that they don't really love, and they have something that they're passionate about, but they don't
Right.
think that they can turn that passion into a paycheck. And this is one of those stories where you stumble upon something that you were good at and that you discovered that you were passionate about way more than what you were actually doing at that point. So it turned into what you're doing for your paycheck now. So that's essentially what we talk about all the time, and
Right.
pouring into it. To put it in layman terms, sometimes your side chick can't become your main chick, and it can work. I mean,
yeah, some people would tell you that sneaky link became is the one that ended up marrying. So I mean, it can happen out there in society.
Did y'all see the movie called and I may be aging myself here, called Taken?
Yeah, you talking about where they take the little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, he done made like 20 of them joints.
He made 20 of them. Look, he said in the first one, is I think Liam
Nielsen.
Yeah, what's his name? He said, I have mastered and developed a certain set of skills.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Said,
let me get this 2 or 3 things down good, master it, right?
Right.
Duplicate it and charge for it as a service.
Right.
And that's what I figured out.
Now with getting the clients for the taxes, because we all know in our time there's only a few things that's certain: death and taxes, right? So it's going to be around forever. How did you get people to trust you to do your taxes? Because obviously there's a thing there where it's like, there's some nuances, there's some things in there that some people may not want certain people to see. There's all of these types of things. How did you get, because I'm sure you have more than just principles and things of that nature. How did you get them to trust you, or was that even a thing? Or how did you work to get those clients to be able to hold yourself up? Because I'm sure it wasn't popping when you first started.
It wasn't.
Right.
And trust is a huge thing in my industry. It's
right.
huge. It's huge, so much so that I have certain clients that it'll be a husband and wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they still file separately.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm being real, right?
It's true.
And the wife want to know what the husband had did, right, on his taxes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Can't tell you that.
I can't tell you. You got to talk to the husband about that.
Right. Okay.
Because that's the trust that I build with my taxes. Once you give me your information, it stays with me. It's almost like that attorney-client privilege kind of situation.
Right.
And so once you give me that information, it stays here. It is confidential. It is secure. And so that reputation just continues to build. And they're like, oh, well, I know I can trust you, because if my own husband can't get the information from you, then I know that it is secure. And so it was a lot of, it was some trial and error.
Right.
I will say that I had to figure some things out, but I knew that once people gave me the information, I had to keep it secure. I can't just go be spreading people's information out, period, point blank. And it's against the law anyway. Right. And so that was a big piece. Another big piece was I had to go out and I had to grind.
Right.
I had to grind. So what I did,
social media around this time that's popular.
There was no social media around.
So you got to get out there and put feet to the pavement, to Tom and Jerry, so to speak.
Let me tell you what I did, right? Back then, like you said, social media wasn't real big back then.
Right.
We had I think MySpace. And even in MySpace, where people weren't really doing much but that wasn't how you got business. So I was big on going out and going to the party scene, clubs, this, that, and the other. So what I did was, I was like, well, shoot, since I'm already out at the club, let me take my business to the club. So I would go in and get cool with the promoters of the parties and get them to let me set up a little small table as people go in and out of the club during tax season. And, and I'm like, look, here's my cards, here's my information. Sign my little sheet right here so I can follow up with you on your taxes. If you sign my sheet, I'll buy you a shot, a shot for the sheet.
Oh, okay. See, there you go.
Kind of tactics to
so say that again. The tactic was, if you sign my sheet, I'll buy you a shot. And so around that time, shot was what? We're looking at what? $6, $7?
Yeah, about $6, something like that, $5, $6.
Okay.
And so I would negotiate with the promoter. If I had a certain amount of shots at the end of the night, then I got a discount on the shot, so they only be like $3 a shot.
Okay.
And so I'm leveraging the people that were there at a place where I would already be. People know me and they would, recognize me and say, okay, yeah, I know you've been out, blah, 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 blah. We talking, doing our thing. Sign my sheet so I can follow with you on these taxes, and I'm building that trust. And then, I see you. Okay, now let's talk in the office or let's talk separate from the club, right? Mm-hmm. So let's see what your situation is. And granted, truth be told, out of 10 people on my sheet, let's say I left that night with 10 people on the sheet, I might get 2 clients.
Right.
I might get 2. But the thing was, it was a slow build. The 2 turned into 4, the 4 turned into 8, the 8 turned to 16. And here you are 10 years later, it's like 500.
Right.
And the thing about taxes that I love, unlike life insurance and some other businesses, once you get that client and they stay, they keep coming back.
Right.
So it's just that coming back. And
every year, same old process. I trust you. He's been doing my taxes for word of mouth, and that sells itself, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Pandemic happened. So for your business, and you're the owner of that business, like, how did the pandemic affect the way you were doing things and affect your overall business?
Well, so the truth be told, the pandemic, the only thing that changed with the pandemic was that, so I was considered an essential worker.
Okay.
Because essential workers fell under the accounting was considered one of the essential workers.
Right.
So for about, I'd say about 4 or 5 weeks, I worked from home.
Okay.
I brought my work computer and my office to my home, and I was still able to prepare taxes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, or right around then, they had all this COVID relief going on, all this stimulus.
Right.
So as people didn't understand what was going on about that, my business went up.
Right.
So
now, in terms of business went up, do you mean by more clients, like more people?
Clients, yes. Right. More clients and more money.
Right.
So my sales,
simply put, right?
Yeah. So my sales went up because people. Here's the thing with my business: as they put out more tax laws and it gets more confusing, people don't want to fool with it. So it's up to me to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
So they know, they come to me and they're like, okay, we're gonna go to him because what he's talking about. Let him do it. We're gonna pay him and let him do it. And I just get more and more and more of that. So my business actually went up during the pandemic instead of going down.
Now, with that, because I know there were a few nuances and things that kind of came about with COVID, with all of that, and your business went up, things of that nature. What was there any new things that you had to learn again, or not learn again, or was there anything new that you had to kind of brush up your skills on, look up? Because I know there was a lot that changed. A lot went kind of crazy because I know maybe some commercial buildings. I know people were probably trying to get tax breaks on the commercial buildings and things of that nature. Talk to us a little bit about that and what kind of changed a little bit, if you will.
Yeah. So the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act under former President Trump made some of the biggest changes in tax law that we have seen in like 20 years, right?
Right.
So that hit. And then literally like 2 years later, COVID-19 hit. So there was all this new legislation that came out to try to help, the middle class, people that are in poverty, people that lost their jobs, all these things came out. So the Secure Act came out.
Right.
All these different acts and all this different legislation that came out to try to help Americans get back to a stable place and on their feet, which is why all of these things came out about stimulus, about student loan, about your 401k, being able to pull money down. So yes, to answer your question, when all of these acts came out, I had to learn about these acts and figure out what the tax code was on that so I could intelligently inform my clients and then the new client on how it would benefit them or how it would affect them.
Right.
So I'll give you an example. One example is last year, a lot of people pulled out of their 401k because of the Secure Act.
Thought it would crumble, so to speak, was pretty much.
Well, it was because they needed it because their money had went down. Either they got laid off or their business had went down. So because of the CARES Act and the Secure Act, what they did was they said, okay, look, we're going to let you pull your 401k money down if it was related to coronavirus at no penalty, because normally that's an extra 10% penalty.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is, instead of taxing you that 1 year, whatever you pull down, we're going to spread it out and break it up over 3 years.
3 years? So people were allowed to pull out of their 401k and not be taxed instantly. They could take that and spread it over 3 years.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And not get penalized, because normally you get penalized for pulling out of your retirement early.
Right.
So what that meant was, I had several clients that did it, but what some of them may have had not thought about or forgotten was, and I had to let them know, was that, hey, that second year and that third year, don't forget, you pull down $100,000 out of your retirement account. That's $33,000. Don't forget about year two. That's going to be another $33,000 on your income. You got to pay taxes on.
Oh, so there you go. So during that time, either you took that income and tripled it. You still kind of put yourself in a little bit of a hole if you didn't recover well, so to speak.
If you didn't recover well, or if you didn't plan for it.
Right.
Now you're going to owe taxes. So if you had a regular job and you made $50,000, okay, I'm used to paying this amount of tax on this $50,000. Oh, don't forget, you got another $33,000 coming your way from when you pulled that $100,000.
From when you pulled out the $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just one example of all the stuff that I have to try to stay on top of, and that's why, like I said, the business went up, because, they're trusting me to know and remember these things. So then I advise them when they come in with their taxes done and help them to plan.
So talk to me a little bit about this. This is one of the questions I had, and this is great conversation. I hope everybody out there is gleaning from this as we come into another tax year. Just a general question. I actually kind of shot this at Ken too. We kind of chopped it up a little bit. So let's say businesses, because we know businesses were in COVID hits, and now they have a bill every month, or they're paying that commercial bill, they're paying for that building. Was there any relief for those buildings, for those people who are in business and they're operating in a building, say a restaurant, say, or anything like that? Was there anything that was given to them tax-wise to help them to stay afloat while COVID was going on? Because people were at home.
There was certain legislation that went out for restaurant owners.
Right.
For them to get special relief from the SBA, the Small Business Administration. So
Right.
they were able to get some tax-free money to come to them to help their business to stay afloat. They also put into place last year to where patrons that went to restaurants and went there for their business, so where they got 100% tax deduction. Normally it's only 50% deduction. So if you went to a restaurant last year and patronized that business for your business, let's say I got my business and I took a client out to eat for lunch, right?
Right.
Normally, if I go to that restaurant, it's only a 50%.
50%.
Right. But they changed.
Now it's 100%.
It was 100%. So everything you spent, you got to completely write that off.
And that was that for just a year, or was that for a couple years? Is that still with us now, or when did that
start? Right now, that was just for 2021.
Right.
Yeah, to my knowledge, they haven't extended that yet. So what they did was, it helped on both sides. It
Right.
helped the restaurant owner because more people are coming to eat now. They want them to, they're incentivizing them to come eat at the restaurants now. And then for the people who went to go eat, the business owners, they got the incentive of getting 100% write off.
So that made corporate lunches and things of that nature kind of a little bit more, being able to extend that out a little bit more to clients coming in. You know,
Right.
we got COVID out there, but hey, we're going to take care of this at 100%. And so everybody was swiping their card trying to get that 100%, huh?
Exactly. And then another thing they put out, there was another credit was called the ERTC, which was the Employee Retention Tax Credit. Okay. So they were giving extra credit, and even a refundable credit where you can get money back by you keeping your employees at work. So basically, if you kept your employees instead of letting them go, the government, the IRS, gave you extra tax credits that were refundable, which means that you could get this money back to you, even retroactively, for keeping those employees on staff. Keeping those employees at work actually gave you some money in your pocket for tax-wise based upon this ERTC.
Wow, that's interesting. So that was called the ERTC, Employee
Retention Tax Credit.
Employee Retention Tax Credit. Wow, these are, hey man, this is dope info. This is stuff I think business owners and people should know. So a lot of leeway was given. So.
Okay, so I got one quick question. What's the most difficult thing about being a business owner? Like you own your own business. Like it's all on you. Like open up, shut down, like it all comes back to you. So, well, I mean, what's the most difficult thing about that?
Well, for me, one of the most difficult things was building the right team. Getting the people around me that were as passionate as I was about helping people with their finances. You know, that would do the things that it took to get to clients, to master the skill of taxation and accounting, you know, bookkeeping and financial analysis. That was one of the hardest things that I dealt with in building the company that I have now. It took me a while. You know, I have a team now, and they're a good team, and I'm still trying to build the team. But for a long time, you know, it was just me. And I didn't want to be, you know, the only, like, you know, I say quote unquote mom and pop. You know, I did it and it was lucrative and I had success with it. But I'm looking at, you know, duplication. I'm looking at transferability to my kids. You know, I'm looking at, you know, I don't want to necessarily have to be actively doing this until I'm 80 and 90 years old to have some kind of living. So I'm like, how can I build a team so I have more passive income instead of so much, you know, trading time for money?
Right.
You know, I get out of trading
time only sales, only retail, and you only making something unless you're out there putting your feet to the fire.
Exactly. Right. So my personal goal is, and I hope this is answering your question, Ken, but one of my personal goals is to have my passive income to take care of all of my household expenses.
Yes. That's the business right there.
I'm about halfway there, you know, or maybe a little more halfway. But if I can get that to where this is money that I'm just getting from work that I'm not having to do, and it's taking care of my household, and everything that I do actively is just extra
saving or an investment or whatever. Yes.
Right. Exactly.
That's a whole different feeling right there, because that's a whole different comfort level right there.
Yeah.
And man, that, you know, what's dope about that though is that the term is making money while you're asleep.
Yes.
So that's the goal, and that's the beauty of it. To wake up, to get up in the morning, and to be like, oh, we just made 20K or we just made 10K off of our passive income while we were sleeping. I think everyone should reach for that. But why do you think people don't believe that that's possible now? Or do you even believe that you think that entrepreneurs believe that's possible for them no matter what?
I think there's some entrepreneurs that they have to be able to see past themselves.
Okay.
They have to be able to see past their own 2 arms, their own 10 fingers, and say, okay, what can I do to try to make it to where I don't have to actively work so much,
Right.
and give the knowledge to somebody else, but not feel intimidated that they're going to go and just take it on their own. And that's,
Right.
trust me, it's a whole struggle. It really is difficult, and it's a balance to be able to find somebody that you can train and pour into, that's not just going to take it from you and go and start their own thing, then you're left with nothing. Okay. So, like, I'll give you an example. I have a client who's a personal trainer,
Mm-hmm.
and he's great at what he does. And he's renting from a gym right now where he brings his clients to, and so we're talking about strategically. Okay, what's the next step for you? I'm trying to help him grow his business, because eventually, as a personal trainer, you're going to get to your max personally of what you can do. You got to figure out how to scale this thing, scalability and sustainability. So
Right.
now we're talking about, okay, let's get your books right to where, you're showing your income that's coming in, it's on your taxes, it's on your books. Now a lender looks at you and says, oh, yeah, I can loan you $150,000. I can
Right.
loan you $250,000 to get this commercial property, right? You get this commercial property. Now you're not having to rent from this whatever company for your gym. You're renting from yourself. You're
Right.
getting tax breaks from renting from yourself.
Exactly.
Not only that, like, your name is on the building.
Right.
Then you bring in other personal trainers. Now they're renting from you.
Right.
Yeah.
So they can, yeah, they can work with you under your business, and then you can extend it out to them. That's dope. I see you have listed there LifeTax Financials LLC, and so I know attached with that comes business credit. Is that something that you indulge in terms of helping your business, or is that something you didn't jump into as of yet?
So I work on my own business credit, but we don't necessarily help clients to work on their business credit. I may give them just some tools and some tips, but we don't like do business like restoration. I can tell
Right.
you what we do though is we do form businesses.
Okay.
So we can form your LLC, you can form your corporation,
Right.
your articles of incorporation, all those kind of things, EIN and those kind of things. We can also do your bookkeeping for you. Set up, make sure your books are set up. Make sure that your books are all in order and they're reconciled to your bank accounts. We can also prepare your taxes, your business taxes. We can also prepare your personal taxes, and we can also set up your financial accounts for retirement through our strategic partners that we have. So that way, you're preparing for the future. You're getting into investments. You're putting money aside for your retirement, because we're obviously not all going to live forever and be able to work forever. So that's pretty much our scope of services that we do provide.
Awesome. That's pretty dope.
That's dope. And one thing I want to backtrack to, as far as the tax questions, because this came up and somebody asked me about this, is the child care tax credit, right? With that being such a big thing now, because a lot of people got those checks that I guess went out the second part of last year,
Yeah.
and how is that going to affect their taxes coming up when they file their taxes this year?
So basically, what they did was they gave you some of the money up front through those checks that
Hmm.
you received. By and large, it was about half. So what they did was they said, okay, we're going to increase the amount of child tax credit that you would normally get anyway. The refundable amounts went up, and so they gave us some early, or whoever qualified for it and opted
Right.
into it, they got it early. So what we've seen is that for those clients who have now filed their taxes, it's about evening out, because what they were used to getting before, they're entitled to more because you're getting more per child.
Right.
Mm,
So you got some of it early. You got like 6 months of it, early, so much per child. And then when you go to file your taxes, you are already going to get more anyway. So if you opted out of it and you said, no, I don't want it early, I want to get all of my tax return, then your tax return is just that much bigger.
Right. Right.
It's like way more. But if you got it early, then you say, okay, I got some of it early up front. So what I was used to getting, I'm not getting like way less necessarily, because I got some of it early, but they already increased the amount that I was going to get anyway.
So are people going to lose are they going to lose some money with this child tax credit, so to speak, in simple terms? Are they going to lose some money or
no, it's going up. It's going up.
right?
All the refunds are going up. Like people that are used to getting child tax credit, dependent care credit, that went up. Most of it all went up under this new administration. So
Right.
what you can expect is you're going to expect larger refunds overall. You're going to expect exponentially larger refunds if you didn't opt into the advanced child tax credit. You didn't get it early. But here's the thing. You need to make sure that you file your tax return accurately.
Right.
What that means is if you got the advanced credit, you need to get that letter from the IRS and submit it to your tax preparer to make sure that they accurately put in how much you got up front. If you do not, what we saw last season with the stimulus checks, so many people's refunds were delayed. And when I tell you delayed like I had
made a lot of people mad, huh?
Yeah, they was mad. 5 months, 6 months. Yeah. They thought they was gonna have their money ready for All-Star weekend. And here they go. They didn't have no money ready. They didn't come out until October of the same year because they didn't properly put on there what they received in the stimulus.
Right.
They had already picked out their card to tote your no place. And
folks had already spent that tax money, right? And they hate it. They done already spent it.
So file your taxes accurately. Get that letter. Whatever you got in stimulus. A lot of us still got stimulus, roughly $1,400 per person back in March of last year. Make sure you properly report that. Make sure that you properly report the advanced child tax credit on your return. Then that way you don't have to worry about your refund being jammed up and delayed because they're going back and trying to do, checks and balances on your
checks
return.
And balances, make sure
it's almost like a pre-audit. They're trying to make sure that what you put on your return matches what they gave you, and it's going to hold you up. And then another thing is try not to file your return paper. If you send it in the mail, it's going to be held up for months because they're backlogged on their paper returns. You need to file that thing electronically.
Now, the tax date, if I'm not mistaken, there is a slight difference, right? Is it it's still in April, but didn't they give like an extra day or two, if I'm not mistaken? What is the official tax date to file your taxes for this year?
April the 18th.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's right. Let me double check.
I know that I think there's a holiday or something.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, that's on there.
Yeah, it's Monday, April 18th. I got it right. So
April 18th. All right.
Yeah.
So
now
there you go.
But don't forget, you have business owners. If you have an S corp or a partnership return, those are still due March 15th.
Okay,
that's good information to know because
March 15th partnership returns and S corp returns because everybody want to be an S corp because that's the thing to do, right? Okay, March 15th for the S corps. But let me just put this out there real quick. If we have any little nugget of information that they get from this, everybody want to be an S corp. That's all fine and good. But one of the biggest red flags on your S corp, if you file for an S corp, because everybody want to be an S corp, if you're not paying yourself a reasonable salary, that is one of the first red flags for the IRS to audit your return. You need to be in a position to pay yourself a reasonable salary. Now, what is reasonable? That's another conversation. But you need to be paying yourself a reasonable salary. And a salary is not writing yourself a check. It is not just saying I'm going to transfer money through Zelle to my personal account. It's not salary. No, you have to go through a payroll system, a payroll company to withhold Medicare and Social Security from your checks and report those quarterly to the IRS. That's what payroll companies do. So if you're not in a position of where you can do that, or you don't have enough consistent income, it's normally going to be somewhere between $40,000 to $50,000 a year that you're profiting from your business after expenses, then you're not ready to S corp. Don't immediately say that, I'm going to LLC and I'm going to S corp, because that's what they said on the latest TikTok video. No, TikTok will get you in trouble. let me
Take
know
time
how
to
it
keep
works.
it locked.
Right. Let me get to the questions, man. I can go all night on that stuff.
No, we had one good question that popped up. Our guy CT the chef said, "Good stuff. How do you suggest LLCs file?"
Okay. So let's talk about LLCs. So LLC stands for Limited Liability Corporation. It is what's called a state election, right? It's not recognized by the federal government. What is recognized by the federal government are corporations, which is either a C corp or an S corp, right? Or a sole proprietorship. Now, the IRS. Right. Okay. So I'm not trying to get too technical here, but the IRS considers a single member LLC because they asked about how should LLCs file. If you are a single member LLC, which means that you're the only owner and you started your own LLC, the IRS still sees you as a sole proprietorship. It's still called a disregarded entity, which means that they feel like your business money is basically still your money, your personal money.
Right.
Okay. That's why it's called sole proprietorship disregarded entity. So how should they file? Well, they still got to file on a Schedule C. That's the only way that you can file on your tax return for your single member LLC is a sole proprietorship. And then those sole proprietorships are still subject to what's called self-employment tax. That is your contribution into Medicare and to Social Security. It's an extra 15%. Okay, that you have to pay. The only other thing that you can do after you have your LLC is to do S corp election. But again, don't do S corp election until you can pay yourself a reasonable salary. Just because LLC, there's no magic tax benefits. No, it's the same thing as if you were a DBA.
Right.
The LLC gives you a legal protection. It's asset protection. So if somebody were to try to sue you as a cosmetologist, because you burnt a side,
you're not solely reliable, so to speak, compared to a sole proprietorship, where if they were to sue you, that's like totally on you. LLC protects you a little bit.
Right. It protects you a little bit. And I'm not an attorney, so I'm not giving any legal advice. All I'm saying is there's certain layers. You're going to get with Kevin Kelly and them about their legal stuff. But I'm saying from a tax standpoint, there's no difference between a single member LLC and a sole proprietorship just doing business as DBA. You was out there making T-shirts. It's all the same.
Now, how does it work for someone that is a 501c3?
Completely different ballgame.
Right.
As a nonprofit organization.
Right.
And if you have a registered 501c3 with the IRS, that is an advantage to people to contribute to your organization. That's a potential tax write-off for them. And then that organization does not have to pay taxes. They are tax exempt.
Right. Tax exempt. Right.
Now, that's not your business.
Right.
That's not I'm working this business and I'm trying to make, whatever in the community. And I've put all this money in, I get to write it off my taxes. No, it don't work that way. That it is an organization entity by itself. Right. So that entity files its own tax return called a 990, okay, or a 990 EZ or a 990N, and whatever it does, it files and it reports. A lot of people have the misconception and the myth or misunderstanding of if I start a 501c3 and I put my money into it, I get to write that money off. You don't get to write that money off. The only thing you get to do is say, I did a charitable contribution to my 501c3.
Right. And then that
part of it is a charitable contribution.
Right.
But you cannot see it as or try to operate it as a business because it is not. It's still something separate. And you don't get to have these losses to try to reduce your taxable income for what you did in a 501c3.
Man, listen.
That's it. Go now. What time is it?
We at the hour, and I'm like, look, we haven't even scratched the surface, have we?
Right. I haven't even scratched the surface.
This is dope. This is man. I really hope people out there are getting this information. Those tuning in and watching this, man, because this is great information from the ERTCs to the child tax credit, and all of that. This is great information.
The last thing I'll put out there is I always tell my people this because I've seen a lot of clients who try to do this. You have to, when you own a business or you have a side hustle, whatever it is, you could be a DJ, you could clean houses, I don't care what it is. You run your business and operate your business. But the IRS will put you in a more highly audited category if you have a sole proprietorship for one, Schedule C, and you are filing losses on your tax returns for more than 3 years. Really, the law is two. You have to have what's called a profit motive. You cannot be in business just to try to offset your taxes with losses because they know what you're doing. You're saying, oh, yeah, I got this business. And, well, how long your business going to have losses? You've been trying to have this basket weaving business for the last 10 years, and you keep trying to.
Did you say basket weave?
I've seen it all. I done seen it all, man. I'm telling you. Losses on their business for 10 years, the IRS is going to send you the letter. And then what they'll do is they'll say, nope, for year 10, for year 9, for year 8, for year 7, for year 6, for year 5. They're going to go all the way back and disallow those losses and say that now you owe us $50,000. We need our money back or we're going to level your accounts. I'm telling you, all you need to do is 2 years of losses, maybe 3 at the most, but the law really is only 2 years back to back of losses where you tried to get your business going and it didn't work out. You got these losses. After that, you need to find another business. They're going to consider your business a hobby, and hobby you cannot write off losses.
Right.
All right.
Woo.
Well, people, as I told Alfred before the show, we're not gonna let y'all do a deep dive. We had the opportunity to ask questions. This man gets paid for his expertise. So if you all need help, if you all need further information, website is in the comments. So y'all can click that link and go to his website and hit him up, ask questions, and get your taxes done. Or if he doesn't have an opportunity to get your taxes done for you because the man is very busy, he's got a ton of clients, I'm pretty sure he can help steer you in the right direction and get you to somebody who's trustworthy.
On our team. We got a team.
He said he was working. He said he got a solid team. So y'all listen, we host this podcast, but we hope and hope and hope. Matter of fact, beyond hope, we want you to go and support these people. We want you to go and support. We're having them on so we can get them to you, but we want you to go to them. We want you to go. They solid if they on here. Trust me.
That's right.
This is what we do.
We have vetted our guests to make sure that we don't have people who are not on top of their game on this show. So what it's all about. And Alfred, we appreciate you, man. My guy, like I said at the beginning of the show, Alfred knows the real Big King. Alfred knows me long before I was posting these motivational things on Facebook, and I was in high school motivating people to do some terrible things. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, change is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? We all grow up and we all mature. And what we talked about tonight is a very real grown up subject.
It is grown up. And hey, whoever's watching this, y'all check y'all's tax returns, please. Y'all don't have to come to me, but whoever doing y'all's taxes, just check them. Because I can't tell you how many people come to me and they screwed up their returns from the year before. Check your returns and make sure that they're not putting like crazy stuff that you didn't do on your return. The IRS is coming for you, not for them.
Right. But they got paid for boosting that joint. So be careful out there, folks. Be careful out there. There's two things that's certain in life: death and taxes.
Right.
So
that's a fact. That's a fact. Check this out, though. Before we let you go, Alfred, are there any other projects or anything else that you might be working on, or also lead the people with something motivational? We always let our guests lead the people with something motivational or some advice before you get up out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also have a nonprofit where we basically inspire, teach, and educate new and aspiring entrepreneurs. So I started that about 5 years ago. It's called Empower DFW. So if you go to our website, empowerdfw.org, it is a registered 501c3. And all we do is we go out and we educate, we inspire new entrepreneurs, and even entrepreneurs that have been in the game for a little while. we're teaching them, we're letting them know about how to sustain your business, what to watch out for with taxes, what to watch out for on the legal side. And that we're just doing that to try to help people get to the next level and help make their side hustle their main hustle. So that's one of the things that I do on the side. Like I said, that is my passion, to help entrepreneurs out there. I don't care if you're black, red, white, it doesn't matter. We try to help. We're here to try to help people. So we have a Facebook page as well, Empower DFW. Check that out. And like I said, if there's anything I would leave with the people out there, like I said, make sure that you check your tax return before you sign it. Make sure that it's right as far as it's the best of your ability to make sure that there's nothing just looking crazy on there, And then from there, business owners, keep grinding, keep pushing. It may not be your year, but don't give up. And just because, here's a little nugget. Just because you can't write it off on your taxes doesn't mean that you have to close down your business.
Right.
You can keep your business going. You may not be able to do 4 or 5 years of losses, but keep doing that thing, or shift it and pivot it. I have a client that is a photographer, love her to death, great business as a photographer, but she ended up finding another niche in her own business to do something different,
right?
And that has made her more money than her photography business. So you don't know what it's going to be. You just got to figure out what's going to work, where the demand is, and what people are willing to pay for.
Right.
And that can make the whole difference in your business. So business owners, keep grinding, keep doing it, pivot, do what you have to do during COVID, whatever the case may be, and put money aside to pay your taxes and invest in yourself.
That's dope, man. This was a blessing. Some of the stuff I knew, some of the stuff I didn't know. So this was dope. This is dope. This is dope.
We appreciate you, Alpha, man. Hey, hang around backstage while we close out the show so we can chop it up a little bit if you have a chance. Y'all, we appreciate Alpha for coming on the show. Again, Alfred Record, LifeTax Financial Services.
Solid.
All right, man.
That was dope, man. And that hour flew by.
No, we learned a lot, bro. Because I mean, it's some stuff like the like when he was talking about the dinners,
right?
Like 100%. Hey, man,
what's up, baby? Take me out.
Take me out to dinner,
man. Take me out to dinner. Corporate situations, you know what I'm saying? 100% write off. I mean. Yeah. If anybody out there got that situation going on, invite your boy Ken out to dinner. I mean, I'm worth it. I'll give you great conversations, some jokes. We throw all that in there. You know what I'm saying? Dinner's on the house. Hey, I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? So,
then put it on the credit card so that you can earn the rewards points for that joint. And then you're going to write that joint off. So, I mean, it was just a win-win-win. Now, I do think they changed it up. And I do believe it's went back to 50%. But for that whole year, can you imagine? That whole year you were allowed to write off at 100% all dinners, all lunches, all corporate lunches, all of that. If you was meeting up with a honey and it was just to, we discussing business.
I mean, it might be a business transaction.
It's business, trust me.
Business transaction.
She's a business, so trust me.
I mean,
we're talking about that one on the dating. You know what I'm saying? Because I just had a partner of mine. He was talking about, man, look, if I invite you out on a Vegas trip, he was going through all the financials. He was like, this is a business trip, and you know what a business trip is, right?
Yeah. I mean business.
Business. I'm a businessman.
Hey man, I see my boy CT the chef chopped in, man, today.
Yes,
man,
sir. Shout out CT.
Honey wings. We still working on that honey wings. We're gonna have that popping. We're gonna have CT the chef with the honey wings in the video and everything. We working on that, CT. So be on the lookout for that, bro.
I'm gonna have to get the lady friend Pina Colada to write us a 100 wings song or something. You know what I'm saying? We got to do something.
There we go. I got the beat. You get her to write the lyrics. We put it together. We have CT in the video. 100 wings.
100 wings. I'm telling you, CT the chef. We're gonna get on it. Listen, I know she's not watching this. If she's watching this, listen, you gotta write 100 wings. She just dropped a freestyle today on the challenge, so I gotta mess with her. So we gotta get 100 wings. 100 wings. We need some bars for the 100 wings.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to split those 100 wings, bro. Because I was talking big noise on CT's episode. I can't eat 100 wings, man. They'd just be out here like
finish him.
I mean, man, they gonna finish you once you go to the bathroom.
Done.
Look, I ain't gonna even lie to you. You give me some blue cheese, I'm good with about 10 to 12. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta let me spread this out over the proximity of a day. You get what I'm saying? Like I need. I mean,
I can do 10.
Give me a little time. I'm 5'9", man. I'm 185, 190, man. You know what I'm saying? I need to.
Well, I ain't been 190 in a while, so you know I might be able to knock out a few more wings than you, brother.
I'm gonna give you a try. I'm gonna try though. I couldn't do that Nathan's hot dog thing like that dude eating about 400 hot dogs. I can't do that, man.
No, sir. Hot dogs are not good for you, and there's no reason why a man should be putting that many wieners in.
He done became famous eating dogs.
Hey, yo.
No, I'm good on that. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. We appreciate y'all tuning in and enjoying this episode with us, man. We always try to bring y'all something amazing, something great, some informative, something funny, man. We got another episode coming next week that's going to be very, very dope and amazing. So y'all stay tuned to the page. Y'all follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe. Go to the YouTube channel.
YouTube, Facebook,
IG,
all of it. Find us. All you got to do is hit that search bar and hit Fiyah Session, and we're going to pop up. Y'all make sure y'all support us and hit us up, inbox us. If you got people you think deserve an interview, or you got people that you know that got great businesses that need to be put out there, let us know. Or if you got a subject you want us to discuss, because we do have our 5 sessions still, you know what I'm saying, where we have the round table of people talking about dating and all this crazy stuff that y'all like to hear about. We got those coming as well.
Yeah, we got you.
Just stay tuned.
We probably don't need to have a subscribe party.
Hey,
subscribe live show, subscribe party, subscribe live. We're gonna have to do something like that. We're gonna make it happen. We got y'all.
It's fact. All right, man. Well, we're gonna get up out of here. Benji, tell them how to find you, man, on all the social media platforms, because Benji is everywhere.
Okay, listen. All I need you to do is DM me, Benji Banks. Okay, DM me. I am everywhere because we're branching out into marketing. So we're trying to put you on. Listen to me. I can put myself on. Like I take care of myself really well, but I ain't here to just take care of me. I know how to take care of me, but I want to put y'all on. So we're creating a platform now where we're at close to 40,000 people. We're trying to get you out there. We want to put your product on. Podcast, your business, your clothing. Holla at your boy. DM me. We legit over here. We got our tax business together. We got our stuff together, and we're putting our own funds. We're being our own boss. We're putting our own boss. We're putting our own money behind this, and we're going to make it work. And pretty soon we're going to be over that 100K mark. And then we don't want y'all to pop up then. You know what I'm saying? When we're on 100K, I'm going to take your money anyway. But I'm just saying, like, come on. We want y'all on this now while the rates are low, because I'm telling you, the price going to go up. It's going to go high. I'm telling you. It's gonna go high, and then y'all gonna be mad when y'all paying $1,000 and $2,000 and $5,000 instead of when you can get in for $30 right now. I'm just saying, because it's growing. It's growing. It's growing. So just DM me on my Facebook. We'll find you there, and we'll get you to the right places. If you got some dope content, you got some dope stuff, I want to put your stuff on the page. So holler at your boy. I'll make sure you're taken care of.
Facts. Oh, tell them about your wine, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know me always. We got a wine tasting coming up. So y'all stay tuned for that. Just a lot of stuff going on. Y'all know me, man. I'm Mr. Wine, man. I love We got some Pinot Noir right here. I can bring up all kind of stuff. You know, I got wine for days, right? I keep the shelf stocked because you never know who might want to pull up and need to vent a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get them a little inebriated and chill out. That's when y'all talk good. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Get you to hang out a little bit, share some wine with you, put some fundraisers out there, supporting your youth little leagues, fundraising for that. It's just so many things we can do. I can't tell it all. Holla at your boy, jump in my DM, and let's do some business. We can make it happen. But sip some wine while you're at it. I mean, can't hurt.
Hey, well, y'all already know. Y'all can find me at Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Twitter, Facebook, all social media platforms. You can follow the Fiyah Session on all social media platforms. Also, go to our YouTube page, like and subscribe so we can get those numbers up, so we can get those special perks, so we can get y'all more content that you enjoy. And y'all already know. We wild on the show, but we really respect and love y'all for tuning in each week. Next week, it's gonna be another special one. So y'all stay out of trouble, man. And hey, if you're in Dallas, I hope you went to the grocery store today and got you some food and some toilet paper, because it might be a rough few days if you didn't.
Yeah, make sure you get you some baby wipes.
Something, but it's gonna be a doozy. So we appreciate y'all. Yeah, and we're gonna stay out of trouble, and y'all stay out of trouble as well. Y'all already know it's the Fiyah Session Podcast. Peace.
Follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fiyah Session Podcast.